Hey everyone, Royalivi here, back with another Sorare Road to Glory episode. Thought I'd start this one off by briefly going over the Blackpool controversy that's been going on over the last week or so. To sum it up, Hibby took over AJ's account, which many users reported as being against the rules. The Discord was popping off for a few days with lots of outrage. I even made a nice funny meme video about how to multi-account, which people seem to enjoy, so thanks for all the support you gave me on that one. I had a lot of fun making it. And then Dan and the Sorare team finally came out with a concrete announcement. They are against multi-accounting, do not multi-account. The Blackpool accounts have been temporarily suspended from So5 with their Game Week 248 rewards revoked, which apparently, according to this comment, they were on course to win a decent amount. Now, previously they weren't breaking any rules, but by changing ownership of the account in the way that they did, as opposed to transferring the cards and taking the XP hit, they were now officially in breach of the terms and conditions, so Sorare had no choice but to jump in and act to keep the integrity of So5 in place, and I think they made the right decision here. Now, personally, I don't agree with the way Blackpool have operated in the past, but as I said, it has never officially been against the rules, so I think the So5 suspension should only be temporary. I've no fucking clue how long for, maybe the month of March or some shit, I don't know, but I think the accounts of Hibby, MaxM and Y and WA should be allowed back to compete eventually. Just monitor them closely to ensure no more dodgy trading or any cooking of their accounts to give them the best chances of winning rewards. And it then becomes a case of what happens to Hibby's account. Now, I don't know his finances well enough, but apparently a lot of people are under the impression he would have been unable to pay for the cards he has now attained himself, so the question is, does anything happen there in that regard? But hey, that's definitely above my jurisdiction to decide. I'll leave that to the powers that be at Sorare. And then Dan capped it off with this astute message about people crossing lines and advocating for multi-accounting, and I agree, there's a lot of pain in the world right now, so the nicer people can be to everyone else, the better. I just want to cover my own base here a little bit and say my meme video about multi-accounting was nothing more than that, a little fun meme video making light of the situation a bit. I even had this nice little disclaimer at the very end, just in case anyone missed it, where I clearly stated I do not multi-account and nor do I advocate for it, so I don't think this was directed at me, and I don't think my video crossed any lines, but hey, if you think it did, then I hope you can find it in your heart of hearts to forgive me, and we can go back to being sunshine and rainbows. And let's make it very clear, please do not multi-account, children. Integrity is everything to the spirit of the game, and without it, we are nothing but shadows floating in the wind.
The fuck is he talking about?
But anyway, that all seems to be in hand for the time being with the Sorare team, so we'll have to see how that all develops in the coming weeks and months. But for now, let's take a look at my Game Week 248 results. I said I'd be disappointed if I didn't win anything this game week considering all the teams I had out, and honestly, I very almost didn't win anything. My limited teams did shite, the Fortuna Sittard fellas let me down here in All-Star, Champion Europe was just... yeah, as you can see the scores are very orange, which is no good. Challenger Europe, I mean, unless I'm colourblind, that's even more fucking orange than the last team. And then Champion America, some players actually did okay. Good clean sheets here for Bill Hamid and Pineda at the back. But then I, Royalivi, like a fucking idiot, just lobbed Felipe Mora in the team as my captain without fucking realising he was out injured for 6 weeks due to having surgery. So yeah, can't even be mad, that's just me being an idiot and not taking my limited team seriously.
What a fucking idiot!
Now, if I hadn't picked Mora, I would have picked Raheem Edwards instead, and most likely would have captained Kasper Przybyłko. Edwards scored a very decent 71 on his debut, so this would have taken my score in America Limited up to 336 points, which, if we check the leaderboard, 500 managers got a reward with the bottom spot getting 325 points, so we would have comfortably hit that tier 3 bracket. So unfortunately, due to my laziness, I've missed out on a shitty tier 3 reward that probably would have been worth about £5. But hey, that's £5 that would have been in my club, and you know, every little helps, so fuck me. Apologies lads, you deserve better from me, and you know, I've let you down, and I hope you can all forgive me for this one day and we can move past this. I'm really sorry. But moving on from that, my rare team in the special weekly was then shit. Rennie Sweet conceded 3 goals for Hartberg, and Romell Quioto, I mean, the bloke scored a 1. A 1 out of 100. That's not a typo, he got a 1. My man got angry on the weekend and thought, I'm just gonna go and like fucking punch this dude in the chest. So you know, we had no fucking chance there. Gas 4, AZ then went out and pulled off a major win against Fire Nord in the race for the top 3. My boy, Yukinara Sugawara, came in with yet another decisive, but unfortunately, it was not enough to save the team from getting below the very first threshold with only 191 points. Bruno, Mitza and Pavi had poor scores, so it looks like overall Fire Nord probably outplayed AZ a bit. They won through 2 penalties, so might not be too surprising if they did, but sometimes you've got to grind out those wins, so happy for AZ to do that against a tough team, even if it did cost me the threshold here. Challenger Europe was then dead before it even began, as RB Salzburg didn't have a game, and when I saw this I thought maybe I'm having a senior moment here or something. I don't really know what's going on, because there's no way I'd put Cone in my team if RB Salzburg did not have a game, right? So I checked my last video to see my lineups, and I was correct. RB Salzburg did have a game apparently, yet when I checked their fixtures, it wasn't to be played until Wednesday, the next game week, so fuck knows what's going on there. I can't see any announcements about delays or rearrangements of the fixture, so I don't know, maybe Sorare just fucked up the fixture list on their end or something. Either way, wouldn't have mattered as TSV Hartberg continued to be absolute dross at football and lost 3-0. Now, the saving grace with TSV Hartberg's shit form is that thankfully only one team gets relegated in the Austrian Bundesliga, and right now it's looking clear as day that Altach will be the ones going down in bottom spot. And on top of that, this loss to Strum Graz guarantees that for the final 10 games of the season, Hartberg will be competing in the bottom 6 relegation round, so, you know, they'll be playing some of the weaker teams for the rest of the season, including Altach twice, so hopefully they can stop being shite at football for a bit and start picking up some points and some good SO5 scores for me. And then the shining light on an otherwise piss poor week, the first game week of the America season, and the lads I selected came through with the goods. My captain Lewis Morgan with an assist in a comprehensive 3-1 win. He even could have scored this game, so glad to see him do well on his full league debut for New York. And then on his debut for my account, Cecilia Dominguez banged in 2 goals in a nice opening day win for FC Austin. He scored an impressive 76 here in SO5, and if we look at the highlights and setup of Austin, he actually did so from left midfield. Now you may think, that's great, he's scoring goals and getting involved despite not directly being a forward for Austin. What a dream! But I'm going to go against the grain here and say this fucking terrified me for what his future form may look like. I mean, it's no secret that Cincinnati, the team Austin beat, are easily the worst team in the MLS. I mean, they are just pure dog shit, so while a 5-0 win is impressive, I don't think it is any indication to how well Austin may do this season. You know, what happens when they have to play LA Galaxy or Nashville or Seattle, for instance? Will they be as dominant here? The answer is most likely not, so I think there's a good chance that Dominguez could fall into the periphery? I think that's the right word. Basically, I think there's a risk of Dominguez falling into old habits and going missing against bigger teams. We can see here his SO5 score was propped up by the 2 goals that he scored. His all-round score was relatively poor other than that, so I took the time to jump on the immediate price rise caused by his 2 goals, and I sold Cecilia Dominguez for 0.225 Ethereum, about £445. So a very tidy profit there. I now have Niaz Goda and Benji to use as my main forwards in my MLS America teams if I don't decide to reinvest the Ethereum into another forward, so the options are there, but either way, thanks for the contribution in your 1 game for the club, Cecilio, I really appreciate it. Pedro Galice was then solid in keeping a clean sheet, Sean Nealis did okay, and then the final game was all up to Keaton Parks. Now, I knew it was a risk playing him as he'd been benched recently in the CONCACAF Champions League games. I thought that this was maybe to get him rested and ready for the start of the MLS season, but apparently not, as he was benched again. Luckily, he did come on though and secure just enough points to bag me that tier 3 reward. But before we look at that, welcome to a very short edition today, coming to you live from the official Royalivi Dubious Decisions checker, because we have to analyse the goal that New York conceded in their opening day 1-0 loss. 90th minute, this man circled right here is none other than Keaton Parks, you know, none other than the man who came on to secure me enough points to get a tier 3 reward. And now if we play the clip, this is again none other than Keaton Parks pissing about with the ball and giving it away on the edge of his own box. Now if we check his score in SO5, I am flabbergasted, which if you check the Oxford Dictionary is actually a real word for anyone who is unaware. But yeah, I'm flabbergasted Parks has not had a decisive score deduction for an error leading to a goal. Unless I'm missing something and only goalkeepers and defenders can get that decisive, then I see no reason as to how Parks has avoided that, fucking around on the edge of his own box in the 90th minute. What a silly boy. And if we check the leaderboards, I only finished 6 points inside that tier 3 threshold, so I mean, you know, Parks tried his best to fuck me there. That decisive score, if it had been applied to him, would have taken me outside of the rewards, so you know, just showing what an unbiased, honest and handsome individual I am, because honestly to me it seems like Parks is clearly at fault and I probably shouldn't have won a tier 3 reward, but you know, luckily Opta weren't having any of it, so yeah, got away with one there. Thank you very much Opta, appreciate it big time, as you've just won me a tier 3 reward, the only reward from this initially promising game week. So let's take a look at who I got. Gerson Barreto. Not going to sugarcoat this one, I have absolutely no idea who this bloke is or anything about the league. I can see it's the Peruvian league, so after a quick Google I can see his team Universitario are second and he started every game for them so far this season, so he can't be too bad of a card. A quick look at his price on Sorare data and we can see he's around that 0.08 mark, so definitely not too shabby at all. The question now becomes, do I sell him or use him as an asset for my America teams? Right now, Lewis Morgan is my go-to player for the Americas in midfield, but as we've just seen from my gameweek 248 review, Parks was pretty shite on the opening day of the MLS, and Romell Quioto, I mean, he's my other option, and yeah, that one speaks for itself. So I could keep Barreto as an option for the upcoming game weeks, to be fair, but I imagine if I get a good offer for him in the future, I will ship him out of the club. But all in all, considering I missed the thresholds this week, this Barreto reward more than makes up for it. Game week 249 was then a dead game week, nothing to see here, and heading into game week 250 we are entering Sorare scouting season. Now this is a pretty cool event throughout March. Some cool new market auction events are taking place daily, as well as numerous unique cards that are being auctioned throughout the weeks for the whole month of March. Not too interested in buying up any cards to use at the moment, but I'm sure there will be some good trading opportunities there. I think with the European seasons coming to an end soonish, along with this scouting season with increased limited auctions, could drive some prices down on some cards, especially limited cards. So I sold at some players. My Wolfsburg limited players went for a profit, Castells and Brooks leaving the club there, making £25 profit on them in the short time that I had them. I just think it's so difficult to compete in Champion Europe right now, and you know, so many things need to go right. This combined with their prices possibly being inflated and potentially dropping in the current months, I thought, nah, fuck it, gonna sack them both off. I also then sold a few shitters that were sitting in the club. Biltoloma Rare is gone, along with some terrible limited Asia cards that I never used, so a bit of a theorem added back to the club there. But then more importantly than my trading, we've got some very cool special weeklies taking place with this scouting season. Game week 250 is open to all scarcities bar commons, with some big prizes up for grabs there. 3 unique cards are being given away, and it's pretty even playing field with a max 45 score being allowed, so anyone's game really. Game week 251 is the same again, but limited cards only this time. The rewards aren't as nice, but hey, it's still a very cool special weekly with some star and tier 1 limiteds up for grabs. Game week 252 is more for the big dogs of Sorare, with super rares and uniques only being allowed with lesser scores to give them some utility for the week. And then game week 253 and 254 are back to only limited and rares respectively as the entry barrier, with some more cool prizes up for grabs there. So lots of fun to be had for March, and hopefully some chances for your boy to get a unique card, although let's be honest, the chances are slim, but hey, there's a non-0% chance, so I'll take that. So for the big one, at game week 250, let's take a look at my teams, starting with this very cool special weekly. Now I initially entered this team into the special weekly, but there's been a lot of controversy around how the last fives are scored and recorded in this competition. It seems at the moment in Sorare we go from one controversy to another at the moment, you know, never a dull moment. So long story short, the last 5 scoring algorithm did not update until 12 hours or so after the game week opened, giving time for managers like myself to put in a team that in theory is over the last 5 threshold of 45 points. My initial team here had Stuver and Dominguez in. Stuver was originally a 39 in his last 5, and Dominguez, can't remember what exactly he was, but he was also under 45. But we can see both had a great opening day in the MLS, scoring a 68 and 72 respectively, and now Stuver and Dominguez last 5s are 47, and you know, if we do some quick maths on that, we can decipher that 47 is in fact a higher number than 45, meaning these players should be eligible, yet I'm still allowed to enter the team as I submitted my lineup before the update. Now the fact is, lots of managers will have done this, and Dan did put out a statement regarding this back in July last year when this issue first cropped up. It's always been an issue for these special weeklies, it's just more obvious now as we have more users and a very rewarding special weekly, so lots of interest in this. Dan however has now put out an announcement. All these teams that were entered before the scoring updated are now invalid. It's probably the right call, but you have to feel bad for any Sorare managers unaware of the last 5 scoring system and the last 5 average being delayed. Maybe they bought some players for this special weekly that are now no longer valid without knowing, so just the other side of the coin to consider there. I had changed my lineup prior to this announcement, as imagine I won the special weekly with an unfair team. I'd be getting called things worse than Blackpool did, and you know, I'd probably get fucking cancelled, so fuck you Brad, get out of the team. Rennie Sweet is now in, we're keeping Chatzidiakos and Bore. We've also added Mitso Rare into the mix, and we are replacing Dominguez with Dario Tadic, so relying on the Hartberg lads to stop being shite at football a little bit here. They are at home against a team lower than them in the table this week, so hopefully they can grab a result from me in this big special weekly. I've then got 2 limited teams out. In All-Star, a mixed bag with Hamed, Sonleitner, Hale, So and Dominguez, fairly strong team there. And in America Limited, I've got the special weekly reject Brad Stuver alongside Pineda, Remedi, Prijbilko and Raheem Edwards. Heading over to Gas 4, I've got a mixed bag here with the AZ and Hartberg players going for the thresholds this week. Hopefully Cone actually fucking plays as well instead of mysteriously not having a game, so that'd be nice. A strong lineup for Challenger Europe. I feel like I'm in for a good chance of a tier 3 here with Tadic and Fleming headlining alongside your boy Yukinari Sugawara, so very happy and hopeful with this lineup. And then finally, my America Rare team lining up is Galeese Nealis, the Scottish Tyrant Morgan as my captain after his good performance last game week. Making his debut for the club is my tier 3 reward, Gerson Barreto, in place of those shitters Keaton Parks and Romell Quioto, because yeah. And up top, Jaroslaw Niezgoda now leading the line after selling at Dominguez, hoping he can step up in Mora's absence for Portland and hopefully bag himself a few goals and myself a few So5 points. So yeah, there we fucking go. Hopefully a good game week is inbound. Got a good chunk of Ethereum in the club right now. With the scouting season, I might be looking at investing some of this while lots of auctions are going on. I'm slowly pulling that Season 2 profit and losses tracker back a bit with some of the recent trading and rewards profit I've been making. And I still have lots of assets in the club, leaving my club at a total profit of near 12k right now. So all good things going on at the moment. And of course, thanks for watching and all of that jazz. Do subscribe for more top tier Sorare content in the future. It was a bit of a longer video today, so thanks for everyone who stuck around. Do like and comment down below about how shit I am, and I will catch you next time.